Hello and welcome to another episode of Arms Ranked. Um, Two things. First of all, I've got 5 replays to show you today. Kind of had a headache, so the commentary might be kind of light, but I think I played pretty well despite having headache. And then second of all is the ARMS dashboard was added, which is pretty neat. I'm actually in the United States, in North America. You can find me at slot 190 last time I checked. It looks like I've gone down to 195, but it's not that bad, honestly. And it is outdated because the rank is wrong. I'm actually rank 19 now. Anyway, though, let's start off with G. I'm not sure what the little circle is, but it might be Go Violet or just G Violet, but Violet. This was a very interesting game. I do remember they were rank 19, and they were, in fact, using motion controls. They had a motion control badge, but they were also doing those little dances before the game starts. So I'm using Bub, which is, in retrospect, a bad decision for this. I think I stopped using Bub after this because of the super armor, but see, the nade got a nerf. It was pretty heavy, actually, like really noticeable after using it for so long. But also, I've been kind of wanting to find an excuse to put a firearm or another wind arm in my set, because against heavy characters like Master Mummy and other Mechicas, I often struggle because the only arm I have that can get knockdowns is the Salamander. He's just using this yellow mask to get a ton of grabs, or she, I think it's a she. Anyway though, but yeah, this player, whenever they're using double roasters, they do really well against me because roasters are my weakness. But for whatever reason, they keep switching to stuff besides the roasters, and then I do decently against them. Anyway, though, as I was saying, I'm looking for an excuse to put a firearm in my set, and that's why I have the roaster here. I might switch to the toaster. I haven't tried it yet. I'll just have to see which one works better. But the roaster's been working out well. And then I also put the Bub in because a surprise rush on them. Needed to get that out before they canceled it with a yellow mask. But yeah. Anyway, what was I saying about firearms? I wanted one to deal with the heavies, but I didn't have one. But now I do. And the roaster's been working out. And then the reason I have the Bub in there is because it curves about the same amount as the nade, but it's also pretty big and comes back faster. So really the only downgrade is, I don't know if the damage is less or not, if you don't count the explosion. But the size helps when dealing with people like the Ninjaras that use double revolvers. They tend to overwhelm me even if I do fine against them. But yeah. Let's just continue with the match. So again, I have no idea why they keep removing roasters, because that's pretty much my weakness. I saw that rush coming. Now looking back, I believe this player had a few like tells, or at least, whenever you're close to them and they jump, they tend to almost always go for a grab, but that's whenever you're really close to them. I could not figure out their shielding pattern, but I did go for a couple random grabs, and a few of them worked out, and a few of them didn't. I do land the rush, though. See, that was one that probably shouldn't have worked out, because it looked like they broke it, but I still got it. And I'm able to sort of get a lucky finish there. They do better, though, in these 2 rounds, as you can see by the 1-2 score. So we go to sparring ring. They just sort of... They switched to the Mega Watt, more than likely because I'm using a heavy character, but I don't really think that was a good decision, or the Mega weapons in general don't seem to do so well against me, because they're slow, so I just sort of get out of their way. Not to say they can't be used well against me, because Simongo's mummy totally wrecks me with the Mega Watt, but, you know, generally. And I sort of overestimate the arm's ability to come back quickly, because that would have worked if both my arms were by my side, but they weren't. Anyway, though. See, that was one example, though, of where I'm sort of just out of habit. Punch, 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 punch. Gotta hit them before the Mega Watt reaches me. Another thing I've noticed, I was watching a stream by Malieve last night, and I noticed that I don't think I'm jumping enough, and it's really strange. See, I always thought Mechanica's jump was pretty bad, so was her hover, which is why I tried to never use it except for in emergencies. But after watching Malieve play, I kind of saw what she was doing, and I'm going to try and implement that more in my gameplay. I get hit by my own tactic there. Was expecting a startup rush in response to what I did the last game, but they dodge out of the way. I'm not able to stop mine in time, and they're able to get a really good rush. The counter rush. The roaster slips right by me. But yeah, there's another instance of them jumping and grabbing, or maybe it's the first, when you get close. That was a good read on their part. And now, Yellow Mask Misongo, when he has Rush, regardless of whether or not you have Rush, doesn't matter really. They're basically just going to put pressure on you and get all the grabs and stuff they want. Because if you try to punish their grab, you're just going to get rushed, unless they don't see it coming, or you get lucky. So, really, it's best to just try and keep your distance. So yeah, I got a bit too close there, and they were able to capitalize on that. And I'm expecting the preemptive grab, but they sort of mixed it up. I'm definitely going to try jump grabbing next time I'm on sparring ring with not this player, because that was really smart. Strangely, they seem to do really well just with all the masks, but even when they don't have a mask on, sometimes I'll see Misongo players, they're just really desperate to put on a mask or a specific mask, and then it's really easy to beat them, but they were just doing well with whatever mask they wanted. And then also double roasters again. And I decided I would just use my rush to try and get their rush out, because I don't want that kind of pressure. And the bait works, but unfortunately they still take the game. Let's move on to the final round. I'll go into Mausoleum, which is a slightly bigger stage and it's harder to get cornered on. So I actually do switch to the Nade, just because I thought, well, why not, I guess. And they switched to the Scorpio for, I have no idea why, but they did. I guess they thought that double roaster was too easy, I don't know. But anyway. Nades versus super armor, not effective, which is why I didn't go double nade. However, they are doing a good job, like, slipping out of the way of my punches. That way they can squeeze a roaster in there whenever I am immobile. So one thing I might want to try and do a bit more against fast firearms such as the roaster or Hydra is trying to be careful and try and stay mobile and be a bit less aggressive, I suppose. Also, poison's annoying. I don't even know what happens, but just something happens to you. You feel awkward moving around. I don't know if you're stuttering or slowing down or what, but they're doing a lot of jumps to dodge, which is surprisingly effective because I don't really have a way of hitting you in the air if you're not already in the air. And then just poor decisions of going up close, A, against Yellow Mask, but also sort of just yellow. And they switched to double Scorpion for some reason. Which, I mean, poison's annoying, but it's not the best against heavy characters because it won't knock them down as easily. And I have no idea why I keep getting hit by these sorts of grabs, but I do end up getting hit by a lot of just sort of out of the blue grabs. I do see that one coming, and I even bait out a rush, which was kind of lucky, but kind of planned. Half of it was planned. I am able to capitalize on their jumping to hit a rush, though. And now, because their arms are like twice the size, there's a lot more collisions instead of whiffs. And I try and meet them in the air, so at the very least, it wouldn't be they can hit me, but I can't hit them. We both whiff a grab. And I see that their arm is, like, weak. So I'm trying to hit the arm to knock the mask off. And I do, and I'm able to take the round. So at last, they finally switch to double roaster because they aren't messing around anymore. And they get the rush. Last-ditch effort jump doesn't work out. Again, I use the jumping habit, and I also, I'm going to rewind a bit. This is one example of a more advanced use of Mechica's hover, but if you hover while rushing, you can follow somebody as they dodge while still, like, rushing. So just keep that in mind, I suppose. And you can't get the combo follow-up. And I'm doing decently at first, but they managed to make a comeback. Again, just sort of slipping in roasters when I'm immobile. And I'm seeing now, though, maybe double roasters won't give me as much trouble if I jump a bit more. And that they sort of rolled under my grab with their get-up. But unfortunately, Rush all the way across the screen with the Yellow Mask is able to hit me and finish me off. So, good game, G Violet. You were a really good opponent. Next is DRM. They were rank 17, and I went ahead and used Bub because they were using Twintel, and I figured, well, it'll be harder to punish with a gigantic arm in their face. And there's really no need for the roaster's speed if they're just going to be slowed down anyway. Although I could see if you could squeeze the roaster in abusing their speed. So against Twintel players, I have this habit of blocking in their face, which is probably something I'd want to break, but at the same time, you don't really want to be mindlessly aggressive against them. It may work against some players, but against the competent Twintel, it's not going to work, because they're just going to slow it down. If you ask me, I think Twintel is definitely one of the stronger characters in the game, even though I'd argue that there can't really be a tier list because of all the combinations. I'd still put her near the top with like max brass. Anyway though. See, this is the reason that I think I need to break this shielding habit, is because I think I'm overestimating my ability to see grabs coming. What I'm trying to do is get them to think I'm going to shield, so I'll shield for half a second to get a reaction grab and then punch, but they don't seem to fall for that, or no one seems to fall for that at all. Anyway though, they're able to shock me and deal 365 damage, and I somehow just sort of land on my feet. I also get this weird grab. Unfortunately for them, the Thunderbird's arc was too wide. They're able to just react to my grab and, the rush in the nick of time to block it, so good on them. And this is why I was using the bub, was to try and get big arms in their face so that they have a harder time countering. In these boxes, I kind of wish there was a way to see them like behind you. That might be a bit too complicated. And also, I'm trying to keep my distance from Twintel, but it seems that she just sort of gets to approach you for free, similar to Springman. But I'm able to finish them off with a rush. I'm not sure if their rush was intended to counter mine or not, but it didn't work out for them, and it shouldn't have, because Glove Rush is 9 out of 10 times going to beat the Curving Arm Rushes up close because of how many hits it has and how fast it is. But lastly, we have Damien, who was a rank 20 Min player. And with Min, I always find it challenging to prevent them from getting the Dragon Arm, because they either need a grab or like 3 seconds to charge it up. So I always have to try and put as much pressure on them as I can without being crazy, like mindless. But see, just one, like, let them slip for a second and they already have their Dragon Arm. So whenever a Min player gets their Dragon Arm, I switch from being putting a lot of pressure to trying to wall them out, prevent them from taking advantage of anything. And I'm able to defend myself pretty much by just punching with the roaster. I do get double iced, which is bad, but at least I didn't get triple iced or grabbed. And I see them shielding a lot. They've got that habit, so I decide to go for a grab. And there they are, getting the Dragon Arm again. Probably one of the few times I see Min players intentionally use the kick. So that was interesting. Or maybe that was just an accident, I don't know. But anyway, neither of us are really popping the rush. I think we're both planning on saving it, but I sort of noticed my health is lowish, hers is also low, so they don't really have a choice if they want to win besides to land a rush. And luckily the chip damage isn't enough to seal their win, so they're starting off at a pretty heavy disadvantage. Anyway though, I'm not sure why they switched to the Ram, but they did. So now I'm trying to destroy this pillar here, and they end up doing that with their grab. But again, I'm just trying to put a pressure. And there's another example of me chasing them down with the hover, or strafe. But yeah. I do really well this round. I actually thought that I was gonna not even get down to 75% health at first, but they do like slightly start making a comeback, but that was when they got the Dragon Arm, and all it really takes to knock the Dragon Arm off is to land one good hit, which is why you really want to try and wall them out. But they're able to get in my face, and then we both had the same idea to rush at the same time, and I was just fortunate enough to get that, but unfortunately the Slamamander didn't connect in the rush, but I was still able to slap him anyway. So good games to all three of these opponents, and thank you for watching. Bye.